Okay, we're back for another oracle reading, and this one is for Kailey. And I was really inspired this morning to do yours, so I was listening to a lot of Michael Jackson and making Phoenix and I breakfast, and I was like, I'm ready to do Kailey's reading. So, yeah. Okay, so your card, I'm going to go to the right. Where? This one. Whoop, okay. Also, Mr. Phoenix is here with us, so he's going to be adding to the reading. Can you say hi, Kailey? Hi, Kailey. Hi. Nope, he's just going to watch. Okay, he's just going to watch. Okay. Okay. Here's your card. It's very Halloweenish. I love it. The card is Unbound. Releasing soul patterns, contracts, past lives, family. The word family comes up. Contracts, family obligation, family responsibility, family burdens, family ties, something with family. So releasing soul patterns, it's like letting go of an idea that you're somehow responsible for other people, and it could be in the family area. That point of feeling, I can relate to this a lot in terms of feeling like when you decide to make the most of your life and you decide to do for yourself and to provide for yourself and to not accept limitation within yourself, and you decide to, you know, to take care of things for yourself in your life and give yourself a good life and a better life. It's hard not to feel responsible for especially family who haven't yet realized their power to do that for themselves. And so we feel a burden, we feel responsible, we feel like we have to help them. But oftentimes when it's based in that point of obligation or burden, we overextend and we give, and we're not really feeling nurtured from it. It's not a giving that gives to us, it's a giving that is a taking from us. And oftentimes it can be with the expectation from the family member. There's an expectation that because you've done better for yourself and you've done well for yourself, that now you're expected from outside sources to provide. And what happens also within that is that it creates a dependency. Now this outside source or person is dependent on you for their well-being, apparently. And that's a tricky spot to be in. And I apologize if this is not at all relating to you or resonating with you. It's for whoever is listening. But that's what this card is bringing up. There's this like family obligation, family tie. That's like it is like a contract. You know, it's that point of like blood is thicker than water. And while I think that family matters and relationships matter, there has to be a two-way street of nourishment and give and take. It can't be a one-way, just a giving. It can't be like that. It has to be a, you know, it's that point of you can't help someone unless they're willing to help themselves. And if they're not willing to help themselves but they expect you to help them, you're actually not helping them if you decide to help them. You're debilitating them in sustaining the idea that they have that they can't take care of themselves. This is where tough love sometimes needs to come in and take the lead in realizing that I can't help anyone until I help myself. And I realize that I can't help anyone not willing to help themselves. It's that point of like, I realize that I'm responsible for me in my life and I need to take care of me in my life. And once I'm in a position that I can give to more people, great. But you know that person who expects something from you because you've done something for yourself, but they're not willing to take responsibility for their lives. That's the relationship here I'm talking about that is not serving you, and it's depleting you and overextending you. And again, I apologize if this doesn't relate to you. Someone listening it relates to, and I feel like a lot of people probably can relate to that. It's hard. It's hard when you decide to make a change in your life. Oftentimes people who aren't doing that for themselves will get bitter or will get jealous or will try to keep you in a diminished state. They'll make comments, they'll say things to try to kind of cut you down. And it's that point of realizing that they're still stuck in their own suffering. And until they make a decision to stop, it won't stop. And that's not to say that they can change and start living more self-responsibility, taking responsibility for their life and their actions, not being such a victim, not being so resentful and blaming towards other people, but actually saying, like, this is my life, I see how I'm contributing to my circumstances. When people start to do that and are then asking for help, by all means, then you can really help someone because they have already taken the first step of realizing they're responsible and they can make changes in their life. But if they're not there yet and you're offering support, oftentimes it can just come back and bite you in the butt. So Unbound, it's that point of cutting the cord, letting people, and this is a mother thing I've been looking at, and I'm sure you can relate also. It's that point of giving them the space to figure it out, and trusting that they will figure it out. But the minute you remove yourself, they're allowed to then see they're the common denominator in all these situations. The minute you remove yourself, they're able to see that they are creating their life, that it's not you that's doing anything, it's not this person, it's not Sally, Sue, or Tom, it's they are living their life. They are the main player, the main character, the primary role in their life that is experiencing what they're experiencing. It's coming from them, what they're experiencing. So it serves them for us to step away sometimes, cut the cord, unbind ourselves from that obligation that we think we have, and give them the space and time to learn how to walk on their own, trusting that they'll figure it out. They will figure it out, and you're there if they come to you to ask for help. But it's that point of, letting them take the steps, letting them walk, letting them fall down and make mistakes too, knowing that they'll get back up and they can get back up and try again. So it's like, I relate that to the mother point in terms of, like, with Phoenix, I very much want to be able to give him the space to figure things out and not show him how all the way, because then he won't develop that sense of self-certainty, of self-knowing. I can do this for myself. I know how to direct myself. I know how to direct my life. It's that point of, you show them to an extent. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. Yes. This is a really good reading for not just you, hopefully you can resonate, but for me, I can very much relate to this point, and so many people, because our family constructs have become a little screwy, where there is this obligation that and like expectations that we place on each other. And I think in general with the whole world that we have done that. We very much look outward on other people to give us something, instead of realizing we can give ourselves what it is exactly that we need and what we're looking for. So unbound, my lady, let yourself go, and also I know that certain habits and ways of being and ways of living are very hard to change, especially if you've done it 20, 30, 40 years of your life. You've been in the same pattern. It's very hard to change. So this is not to say you need to stop something right now or change something right now. This is just a point for you to reflect on your own life and to take from it what you will. It's up to you. Take nothing, if you will. So the battery's about to die. I think it's good timing. Unbound. I'll come back and read this book definition for you. Okay, so the book definition is Unbound. 108, page 108. Boop. Okay, this says, okay, releasing soul patterns, contracts, and past lives. It is time to release old soul stories that have been playing out in your life. They are coming up to be healed. There has never been a safer time to clear these patterns than right now. Take a look at patterns in your life that you are ready to release. Ancient vows and contracts that your soul made that have an expiry date. It could be a vow of silence or chastity or poverty. It is time to unwind from them. This is the life in which you free yourself from trauma of past lives. What old ways of being have an expiry date? When you name them, you claim them, and they stop holding power over you. When acknowledging these old patterns, it is also important to acknowledge how they have served you up until now. For example, a soul pattern of playing small caused a soul fear of being seen, or sharing your voice would have served you by keeping you safe. In order to grow, you now need to soften by receiving and calling in support. It is time to unbind from the old ways of being that are no longer sustainable. This also has an affirmation, and it is, I release old soul stories, vows, contracts, and patterns that are no longer aligned with who I came here to be in the present time. I carry the lessons, growth, and gifts, but I no longer choose to live the same story. May I be unbound, forever unbound. So I hope this resonates with you, Kailey. Definitely reach out if you need further clarification or perspective or support. I'm always here. Love you, mama. Okay, bye.